When we talk about Noah's flood and how awful it was, or how awful it would have been if it had actually happened, Christians sometimes try to justify their God by saying that those who were drowned weren't human. They claim these poor people were descendants of the sons of Yahweh, whom they created with human women, and that these beings were therefore hybrids who didn't matter. You know how when a person stops being a Christian, other Christians claim the person never was a Christian. I reckon it makes them feel better to think that no true Christian would ever leave their religion. Well, this is also why Christians make excuses regarding the flood. It makes them feel better to think their God isn't responsible for this evil behavior. But let me give you 9 reasons why they're wrong. First of all, why wouldn't the humans matter? I mean, the hybrids. Why wouldn't the hybrids matter? The sons of Yahweh mattered. Yahweh didn't kill them. The humans mattered. Supposedly Yahweh didn't kill them. So why didn't hybrids matter? Okay, they were an abomination. I get it. But I'll mention this again later. Second, one has to wonder just exactly how it came about that Noah and his family weren't hybrids. Are we really to believe they were the only humans alive at the time? Noah's grandpa Methuselah supposedly died in the year of the flood. Was he a hybrid and therefore drowned? It would have been nice to see how long he might have lived, wouldn't it? I mean, he was 969 years old. Maybe he'd have made it to 1,000. Anyway, if indeed he died in the flood, then he must have been a hybrid, which would have made Noah a hybrid. And by the way, after living for 969 years, you know Methuselah had more grandchildren than just Noah. If Methuselah was indeed human, then why weren't his other grandchildren human? And what about Noah's wife? Were her parents hybrids, but she wasn't? How about her siblings? What about the wives of Noah's sons? They were all human, but their parents and siblings, they had some, were hybrids? Well, who can believe that? Third, why try to justify Yahweh regarding this murder spree? It's not like this was an anomaly. He was always killing people. It's not, humans, not hybrids. So why do those drowned in the flood need to be non-humans so that Yahweh doesn't look bad? Yes, all who died were Nephilim, we are told. And no Nephilim survived. Except, oops, they did. We see them later on. Did even more gods have sex with humans after the flood? Fourth, why did Yahweh allow this intermingling in the first place? Was he sleeping when it occurred? Why did he even make it possible for his sons, who are supposedly spiritual beings, to procreate with physical humans? Fifth, if indeed it was an abomination for Yahweh's sons to procreate with women, why wasn't it an abomination for Yahweh and Mary to produce a child together? Is that why Jesus had to die? Because he was a hybrid and an abomination? It makes sense, right? Sixth, human women are vulnerable. Why didn't Yahweh protect them? Who could fight off a god? So why would women or their offspring be held responsible for something they couldn't possibly resist? More than that, how would these women have even known the gods were in fact gods? Wouldn't they have appeared in the form of men? Seventh, Yahweh might not have wanted hybrids on the earth, but he knew it was going to happen when he made it possible. So how did he regret something he knew was going to happen? Crying out loud, according to Christians, Yahweh finds their keys, saves a good parking spot for them, makes sure they find a low mortgage rate, and is always punishing gays. But he allows his sons to make babies with human women? What's wrong with him? Was he just jealous because they knocked the wind out of his sails? He wanted to be the only God who got to make a baby with a human? Of course, maybe Yahweh is just not as powerful as we try to make him out to be. As we know, the God of the Old Testament and the God of the New Testament are totally different. For instance, God of the Old Testament can't fight against iron chariots. The God of the New Testament seems to be able to do anything. By the way, I'm going off on a silly tangent here. If Yahweh can't defeat people with iron chariots, it makes you wonder if he has any power over steel. Steel is stronger and tougher than iron. And Christians' coffins are made of steel. You might better hope you don't wake up when Jesus comes back. I mean, he might not be able to dig you out of that steel casket, and you'll be stuck there for all eternity. Now, what a hell that would be, huh? Back to my point. The New Testament turns the description of Old Testament God on its head. Old Testament's God is like a human, while the New Testament God is a spirit or is love. He's suddenly outside of space, time, and matter, and he absolutely was not in the Old Testament. I could give lots of examples, but you know I'm speaking the truth. I mean, even Christians recognize that the never-changing God of the Old Testament has changed. When we talk about child murder, slavery, and other evils Yahweh's committed, they're quick to say, oh, that was the Old Testament. He doesn't behave like that anymore. They somehow think that absolves their God of all wrongdoing. He repented, I reckon. And you know how that takes away everything. My 8th point regarding the flood is that, hybrid or not, those drowned children were innocent. And Yahweh said he hates 6 things, one of which is hands that shed innocent blood. Finally, number 9, the Bible states that it was humans Yahweh was angry with, and humans he wanted to wipe off the face of the earth. He said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, and that he repented he had made man and was grieved in his heart about his mistake. His mistake, y'all. Not the mistakes of his sons, and he didn't have anything to do with the hybrids, so he couldn't grieve about making them. He also said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I made them. So Yahweh was sorry he made humans, lower animals, bugs, and birds. He wished he hadn't made any of them. So he destroyed them, trying to fix his own error. Oh no, he didn't drown human babies and human pregnant women, not to mention men and other children. He just killed hybrids. It's not going to fly. This made-up excuse is simply an attempt to excuse Yahweh from being responsible for the greatest mass murder in history. He did it. That's just how he rolls. And you approve, Christians, so accept your guilt too. And oh, by the way, this didn't happen. It's just a story. So the truth is, it's all on you. You think it's fine and dandy to drown babies, and there is no justification for such a slaughter. So just live with your culpability and stop trying to justify it, please. Thank you all. Bye.